In the grand halls of Buckingham Palace, the cameras often capture Queen Camilla standing strong beside King Charles III. But behind the polished smiles and royal duties, a much more fragile reality is unfolding. Just days ago, heartbreaking news shook the monarchy when it was revealed that Queen Camilla had fallen ill, forcing her to miss a major royal funeral. For a queen who has rarely stepped away from duty, this absence raised questions and fears that something far more serious could be at play. At 78, Queen Camilla has spent the past 2 years carrying a heavy burden. Since King Charles's cancer diagnosis earlier this year, she has been the steady face of the monarchy, filling in where her husband could not. Royal insiders often call her the rock of the royal family. Yet now, with her own health under scrutiny, concern grows about whether the monarchy's foundation is beginning to crack. From her recent illness and missed engagements to whispers of exhaustion and the relentless pressure of royal life, the story of Queen Camilla has taken a deeply emotional turn. Loyal supporters worry about her well-being, while critics wonder what her absence means for the monarchy's future. This is not just a story about a queen missing a public event. It is about the toll that duty, age, and responsibility have taken on her, and the uncertainty facing the royal family at a critical moment. Today, we uncover the heartbreaking reality behind Queen Camilla's latest health struggles and what it could mean for the crown moving forward. For decades, the British royal family has embodied tradition, resilience, and continuity. When Queen Camilla officially took on her role beside King Charles III, she embraced it with grace and determination, even in the face of public skepticism. Yet the monarchy was jolted recently when news broke that Queen Camilla would not be attending the funeral of the Duchess of Kent, a significant royal event where her presence was expected. The reason given by Buckingham Palace was brief but concerning. The Queen was unwell. The official announcement stated that Queen Camilla had been suffering from acute sinusitis, an illness that can be painful and exhausting, particularly at her age. To the public, the words may have seemed like a routine explanation, but those close to the royal family knew it was far from ordinary. Camilla has been a steady figure within the monarchy, rarely missing major public events. For her to step away from such a high-profile duty sent shockwaves through both the palace and the public. The Duchess of Kent's funeral was not just any occasion. It was a moment for the royal family to come together and honor one of their own, someone who had quietly supported the monarchy for decades. For Camilla to be absent raised questions about her health and whether she could continue to balance the relentless demands of royal life. While palace officials emphasized that her condition was temporary and that she was resting on doctor's orders, speculation quickly spread across the media. Royal watchers pointed out that this was not the first time health had forced Camilla to step back. In the past year, there have been whispers of exhaustion, with her increasingly heavy schedule taking a toll. As King Charles underwent treatment for cancer, Camilla took on more public responsibilities than ever before. She was seen attending events, hosting dignitaries, and ensuring that the monarchy maintained its presence even when her husband could not. The weight of these duties, combined with her own advancing age, made the news of her illness all the more worrying. Behind the scenes, insiders described Camilla as deeply frustrated. Known for her sense of duty, she reportedly did not want to miss the funeral, but was advised against attending to avoid worsening her condition. Those close to her revealed that she has always prided herself on reliability and resilience. And being forced to step away, especially at a moment when public appearances carry so much symbolic weight, was difficult for her to accept. For the public, the Queen's absence sparked an outpouring of both concern and sympathy. Many supporters flooded social media with well wishes, praising her dedication over the years and urging her to prioritize her health. Others, however, speculated whether her illness was a sign of something more serious. The fact that both King Charles and Queen Camilla have now faced health challenges in such a short period has left many wondering about the stability of the monarchy. It is important to remember that Camilla is 78 years old. Though she has managed her role with remarkable energy since Charles ascended the throne, she is not immune to the effects of age. Sinusitis may sound minor to some, but in older adults, even seemingly routine illnesses can lead to fatigue, complications, or extended recovery times. For a queen expected to be constantly present in the public eye, the pressure to recover quickly is immense. The heartbreaking reality is that Camilla has always been more than just the king's partner. She has become an anchor for the royal family, a steadying presence through turbulence, scandals, and now, health crises. Her sudden absence was not just a missed funeral. It was a reminder of how fragile even the strongest figures in the monarchy can be. As news of her illness spread, Buckingham Palace tried to reassure the public that the Queen was resting and expected to return to her duties soon. But for many, the message was clear. The monarchy, already facing the challenges of King Charles's illness and the absence of Prince Harry from royal duties, is entering a period of uncertainty. And at the center of it all is Queen Camilla, whose own health struggles now cast a long shadow over the future of the crown. When King Charles III revealed his cancer diagnosis earlier this year, the eyes of the world turned not only to him but also to Queen Camilla. Almost overnight, she transitioned from being a supportive partner to the monarchy's central pillar, taking on duties that were once shared. For many, this was the first time they truly saw how much responsibility rested on her shoulders and how heavy that crown really is. Camilla has often been described as the quiet strength of the royal family. For years, she lived in Charles's shadow, weathering intense public criticism and media scrutiny. Yet, once he became king, she rose to the role of queen consort with unexpected grace. In the months following his diagnosis, she became the face of stability, attending royal events, representing the monarchy at state functions, and offering reassurance to a public worried about the king's health. But while she carried herself with composure, those closest to her noticed the toll it was taking. Royal insiders revealed that her schedule nearly doubled. While Charles focused on his treatment and recovery, Camilla was often seen presiding over events alone or stepping in to meet dignitaries. It was not just about filling the gap, it was about preserving the image of continuity that the monarchy so heavily relies on. Camilla knew that the world was watching, and she was determined not to let the institution falter under her watch. Yet behind the polished appearances, fatigue began to show. Friends of the Queen quietly admitted that she was often exhausted, juggling both her public duties and her private concern for her husband's health. It was not uncommon for her to spend hours by Charles's side after a treatment session, only to appear at a public engagement the next morning with a smile for the cameras. That kind of emotional and physical strain is difficult for anyone, but especially for someone nearing 80. Her recent illness made many wonder whether the relentless pace has caught up with her. Acute sinusitis may sound minor, but paired with exhaustion, stress, and age, it can knock even the strongest person off their feet. For Camilla, the timing could not have been worse. Just as she was proving herself as the monarchy's backbone, her own health faltered, leaving both the royal family and the public shaken. Adding to the pressure is the constant scrutiny from the media. Every appearance or absence sparks speculation. Was she unwell? Was she avoiding controversy? Was she overwhelmed? Unlike other royals, Camilla cannot simply retreat without questions. Each decision she makes is interpreted as a reflection of the monarchy's strength or weakness. It is a heavy burden, one that she has carried with remarkable resilience but not without cost. Supporters often praise Camilla's ability to remain calm and collected, even during the most difficult times. They point out that she has been a stabilizing influence on King Charles, grounding him when the weight of kingship feels overwhelming. But what happens when the stabilizer herself begins to falter? That is the heartbreaking question now lingering in the air. Royal watchers argue that the monarchy is at a crossroads. With King Charles still in treatment and Queen Camilla facing health challenges of her own, the younger generation of royals will inevitably be called upon to take on more responsibility. Prince William and Princess Catherine are seen as the future, but with Catherine also stepping back due to her own health issues, the strain on the royal institution is greater than ever before. For Camilla, the weight of duty has been both her greatest strength and her greatest challenge. She has proven time and again that she can rise to the occasion, but even queens are human. The heartbreaking reality is that her illness is not just about her. It symbolizes the fragility of the monarchy itself, a reminder that even the most powerful institutions depend on the health and resilience of the people at their helm. The news of Queen Camilla's illness and absence from the Duchess of Kent's funeral sent ripples far beyond the gates of Buckingham Palace. For many in the United Kingdom and across the Commonwealth, it was more than just an announcement of poor health. It was a symbol of fragility within the royal institution itself. The monarchy, often seen as a beacon of endurance through centuries of change, suddenly appeared vulnerable. Public reaction was immediate and emotional. On social media, hashtags wishing Camilla a speedy recovery trended for days. Supporters highlighted her decades of resilience, reminding critics that she had stepped into one of the most difficult royal roles later in life and managed it with unexpected dignity. To them, her illness was a stark reminder that even those who wear crowns are not immune to the burdens of age and exhaustion. Yet, concern was not limited to sympathy. Many began openly questioning what her illness might mean for the monarchy's stability. With King Charles already undergoing cancer treatment, the idea of both the king and queen struggling with health issues left the public uneasy. In a time when the royal family is still working to maintain relevance in a modern world, such vulnerabilities invite speculation about whether the institution can withstand the weight of its challenges. The reaction was further fueled by the absence of closure at her missed engagement. Had she attended the funeral despite her illness, critics may have labeled it reckless, but her absence sparked whispers that the palace was withholding deeper truths about her condition. After all, the royal family has a long history of carefully controlling the narrative around health matters, often leaving the public guessing. This secrecy has historically led to suspicion, and in Camilla's case, the lack of transparency only deepened the sense of worry. Royal commentators were quick to weigh in. Some emphasized that acute sinusitis is common and not typically life-threatening, suggesting the palace was simply erring on the side of caution. Others, however, noted that her role as queen leaves little room for vulnerability, and every canceled appearance could carry symbolic weight. For a monarch and consort expected to embody continuity, each moment of absence risks creating the impression of instability. Adding to the growing concerns was the larger context of the royal family's struggles. Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has also faced health challenges this year, stepping away from public duties. Prince Harry remains estranged, and public opinion on Prince Andrew continues to cast a shadow. In this landscape, Queen Camilla's absence became another reminder that the monarchy is navigating stormy waters. For ordinary citizens, the heartbreaking element lies in the human side of Camilla's story. Many remember the years when she was vilified by the press, portrayed as the woman who disrupted the fairy tale of Charles and Diana. To see her now, decades later, embraced by much of the public and carrying the weight of the monarchy on her shoulders, only to be brought down by illness, feels tragically ironic. She has fought so hard for acceptance, and now, at the peak of her journey, her health is threatening to take away what she worked to build. Still, there is a current of hope within the concern. Many supporters argue that Camilla's illness, while serious enough to cause alarm, might also serve as a wake-up call for the monarchy to slow down. They emphasize that the Queen, at 78, cannot be expected to perform at the same relentless pace as younger royals. Calls have grown for Prince William and Princess Catherine to take on more official duties once her health allows, ensuring that the burden is more evenly shared. The public's reaction reveals a mix of compassion, fear, and pragmatism. Compassion for a queen who has earned more respect than anyone could have predicted, fear of what her absence might mean for the monarchy, and pragmatism about the need for generational change. What unites all these feelings is the recognition that Queen Camilla's health is no longer just a private matter. It is a public concern, one tied to the stability of the crown itself. As the palace manages the growing concerns around Queen Camilla's health and emotional state, many are beginning to wonder what the future holds for both her and the monarchy as a whole. Her role has been one of steadying the crown during moments of turbulence, standing by King Charles as he navigates his reign, and serving as a reassuring presence for the public. But with ongoing rumors about her condition and the strain of royal life, questions are emerging about how she will continue to manage these immense responsibilities. Those close to her say she is fiercely determined not to step back from her duties, insisting that service to the crown has given her purpose and strength through difficult times. Friends note that Camilla has long been underestimated by critics, yet she has consistently proven her resilience. From her early days of being vilified by the press to her current position as queen consort, she has demonstrated an ability to rise above scandal and adversity. However, this moment feels different because the challenges are no longer just about public perception, but about her health and well-being. The monarchy has been facing what many consider its most uncertain period in decades. With King Charles himself dealing with health-related headlines earlier this year and Prince William and Kate balancing their own challenges, the royal family has been under unrelenting scrutiny. In this fragile climate, Camilla's struggles become even more magnified. Supporters argue that her continued dedication to her role shows the depth of her loyalty, but critics worry that pushing herself too hard may only worsen her condition. The British public remains divided. Some admire her courage and commitment, praising her for not hiding away but continuing to fulfill engagements despite the toll it may take. Others, however, feel that the institution must adapt to a new reality, one where health comes first and the relentless pace of duty is reconsidered. This debate has only fueled speculation about how the monarchy will evolve in the coming years and whether new roles may need to be reshaped. For Camilla personally, the path forward is complex. She is said to be leaning on her children, Tom and Laura, as well as her grandchildren, who provide her with joy and stability away from the public eye. Her private life has always been a source of strength, even when the glare of public attention was at its harshest. In recent weeks, her family has become even more central as she copes with the challenges before her. Looking ahead, one thing is clear. Queen Camilla has never been one to give in easily. Her story has been one of survival, reinvention, and resilience against the odds. And while the headlines today may be dominated by concern and heartbreak, her determination to keep going has left many convinced that she will continue to surprise both critics and admirers alike. The future of the monarchy will undoubtedly be shaped by how the royal family navigates this uncertain time. But for now, Queen Camilla stands as a symbol of both the fragility and the endurance that define the crown, facing her struggles not in silence, but with the quiet dignity that has marked her journey from the very beginning.